Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Mike here from AHC Garage. Welcome back to the channel and another episode of EM1 restoration project. And some of you guys wonder, what is this behind me? For some of you guys missed the previous episode, this is our donor car. So we're gonna make two cars into one perfect car. If you guys haven't watched that episode, we're gonna go ahead and put a link right up here and also down the description. And also it's a good idea for you guys to click the subscribe button and turn on that notification. For some of you guys don't remember this car, we'll give you guys a quick tour. So like I mentioned, this is our donor EM1. It is Civic Si, but it's not exactly Milano red. The previous owner probably painted this a different color. Now, if this car comes with pretty much everything that we need, pretty much stock, except it's lowered and have the aftermarket side skirt, then now the interior is completely there. Like everything is there, seat, everything else, along with some extra piping. They will use that as a storage, but other than that, the clutcher is there, the shifters, everything that we need, just in case we need some extra parts or broken parts that we need to find replacement, we got it right here. But the main reason we bought this car is because of the engine bay. Our restoration project is missing the engine and the transmission and everything else attached to it. And this car has everything there under the engine bay here. Other than this ground cables aftermarket, everything else is all there and it's all factory. So we can use everything here and transfer that onto our project car. I mean, you got everything, the heat shield, the factory boxes, even the wires, all the connectors, clips and harnesses, everything is all there. Now, before we get started, why don't we start up the car so you guys can hear how beautiful the engine sounds. Well, there you have it, guys. 147,000 miles and this engine is super quiet, no knocking whatsoever. And by the way, the transmission, it doesn't have any sort of grind. It is perfect. But regards to the fact, we'll be taking this motor out. We're gonna take this motor completely apart. We're gonna rebuild it along with the transmission. Then we're gonna put all this good stuff back in our restoration project. But listen to how beautiful this engine sounds. This might be the last time you're gonna hear this motor run on a donor Honda Civic and this B16A motor. Oh, take a look at that, guys. Factory OEM transmission with a VIN plate and also a little stamp right over there. And underneath the vehicle here is completely stock with the exception of the aftermarket coilovers, factory muffler system, B-pipe, catalytic converters, all the heat shields. Take a look at the motor. Not even an oil leak underneath here on the transmission, and also for the engine. Now the CV boot looks like start to leak grease right over there, but we're not really concerned about it because we're gonna get some new ones for it. But everything else here is pretty straightforward and very clean swap all over here. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drain out all the fluid, the engine oil, the transmission oil, the coolant, and also evacuate the AC system. Then we're gonna take off the wheels. Then we're gonna work from the very top and work the way on the bottom, and the motor is gonna drop from the bottom and the car is gonna go up in the air. That's right, we got all three fluids draining at the same time. Engine oil, transmission oil, and also the cooling right over here. We want to get this drain all the way as much as possible so we make the least amount of the mess. So next up, while this is draining, let's go ahead and take out the wheels and work on the axle. And now with the wheels off, the fluid is coming down to a drip. I think you should be good to go here. So we go ahead and put the plugs back on the engine, transmission, and also the radiator. Now next up after that, we'll work on the lower control arm. These little bore joint nuts right over there, got a cotter pin there. We'll work on the fork and also the 32mm axle nuts. We'll get the axle outer joint pulled out on both sides. And from there, we'll get the car back down the ground. So I work on the engine bay. All right, so we got the car back down. Before we do anything on the engine bay, we are going to evacuate the air conditioning system with this very cool machine right over here. All right, guys, so now we have the Freon recovered from our air conditioning system. Next up, we want to remove these hose and pipe from the AC compressor. Matter of fact, I'm going to remove this completely so we get a little bit more space when we drop the motor down. Now, after that, I want to remove some of these accessory power steering hose, fuel lines, battery, air box, and also the strut bar. Now, talking about the strut bar, this got me looking pretty hard here. Looks like someone installed that strut bar backward and now it's hitting against the map sensor. And hopefully that didn't do any damage to the connector. Now after that, I'm probably gonna remove all the cooling hoses around it, and I'm gonna need some help from one of the guys so we can get ready to drop that motor. So yeah, like I suspected, the connector for the map sensor is broken. No biggie, we could find another replacement used connector, de-pin it, and then we'll go ahead and put the replacement connector. It's gonna be good as new. So I just removed the battery and take a look at what I find here. It looks like a battery before had exploded in here and all the acid has been all over this tray. And now it's the bolt that I need to remove. The head is all worn down and destroyed too. And over here, got two more bolts right over here. I can't even see it. It's just all metal shaving. I should say rust shaving. So somehow, we gotta figure it out and get it straight out of the way. Remember that rusty battery tray? Look at that little creation right there. What do you say, Miguel?
Hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get the job done, you know?
In the meantime, we did this so we can get access to the factory engine harness right there. What do you think we should do next?
Well, we're gonna empty out the front here, give us some room so when we come down, because we're not gonna pull too much of the motor apart in here. So that'll allow us to be able to push the motor forward, give us some clearance from the subframe, and we're gonna take it out that way.
So next up, we're gonna work on the engine harness. All right, so we got the rear T-bracket unbolted. So now all we have is a training side mount and an engine side mount, and then the motor training should go straight down. All right, so the motor and the transmission is right here all in one piece and sitting on a dolly. And now the car is right up here. It's always good to have a lift. Well guys, just like that, with the help of Miguel and John, we're able to get this entire power plant out of our donor EM1 on the next upcoming episodes. We'll be working on the original short block that came with our project car, and with a lot of these components, we're gonna make one perfect, complete package. And this wrap up for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for following us, this incredible journey. You guys haven't already done so, make sure you go down there, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification. And don't forget to share this cool project with your friends and family. My name is Mike, behalf for AHC Garage. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.